I have never seen an offense this incapable than the one we are currently living through with East Carolina. And I will say this offense did not just happen September 1. This was built over a period of time with lack of responsiveness and proactiveness in realizing our struggles up front in our blocking schemes, in going out in the portal like teams in 2023 do, not like the 1990s, which we seem to be approaching in terms of how we approach football, understanding that it's a new man's game. And if you're not out there getting talent and getting the resources needed to be able to build the talent, but also, most importantly, to develop the talent. People forget Shane Montgomery, not Shane Montgomery, but Shane Carden. I say Shane Montgomery because now he's helping our staff. But Shane Carden, so many of our players, our receivers, Trevon Brown. Think about all the names of the past 10 years. Some of our quarterbacks. Marcus, you're a great example as well. You know, these weren't guys that came with 5 stars next to their names. Neither were many of our linemen that ended up playing in the CFL and the NFL. These were players that were developed. The real red flag for me right now is I don't see us developing, especially on offense. We're doing some great things on defense, but we're really, really struggling in the development side of the ball. And I just think that's a huge problem. And I heard someone say a while ago that, unfortunately, we can't afford to make a coaching change. Well, gentlemen, sometimes you can't afford not to make a coaching change when you look in the stands the next 2 home games and it's empty and you don't see hope. We've got a young man, Jeter, there at quarterback that should be put into starting lineup as soon as we know there's only a couple of games left, that we will not burn his red shirt. That gentleman should get every practice and every opportunity to learn to be our starters, and these other 2 folks need to be the backup. We've got to earn the trust of the Pirate Nation again with this program. And I'm tired of the rinse and repeat press conferences about, hey, we need to change our cleats, or somebody had a great Thursday practice. I love Biff Pogge's press conferences. I went to the Navy game last week in Charlotte. My daughter, as you guys know, is a freshman there. And I sat through that 0-0 halftime score. Navy had 53 yards in offense in the first half and 3 first downs. That's what we sat through. The team that I saw today looked they ran an entirely different offense today than they ran last week. And what I told some friends this week, guys, is Biff Pogge and his staff, hats off to them. He was getting a hot dog last night at 6:30 at Sub Dogs. But hats off to them, because they know this. Nobody's going to remember 5 years from now whether they beat or lost to Navy. But they are going to remember what they did in their first matchup in East Carolina in an otherwise difficult season. This guy has his hat on right, even though they have a 2-5 season. They have people exciting. What is there to believe in ECU football right now, gentlemen? That would be my question. And if we don't have an answer for that, we need somebody who has that answer in the AD seat, in the coaching seat, and we either need to have that. And again, I've sat through John Thompson and a lot of other guys. We can't wait till we bottom out again in the current climate of college football. We can't wait to build up for another 5-year plan for 7-5. Things are still changing in this game. This is not just about a guy with a whistle and sneakers anymore. This is about investment. This is about understanding a 10-year arc in your program. And if you don't have that plan or know someone who does within your athletic department or your university, then you're the guy, you're the target. You're the guy they're going to come and pluck your best players from, and they're going to build their program off of your weakness. So, guys, football, just like we say in baseball, it means more here. We have to decide whether we're going to stand by and let this continue along this path, or whether we're going to request more. John Gilbert sent a letter out 4 weeks ago. I hope he sends out a chapter and a book this week. We either need a new offensive coordinator or a new coach hired, or in the process of doing that, because you got to have something to believe in ECU athletics. Football drives this ship. I'm so excited about men and women's basketball, volleyball, all the things we're doing. But at the end of the day, it's about revenue and about football revenue. just like Oklahoma and Texas and all the schools in the Dust Bowl, in the 1950s and 60s and 70s understood that. When ECU football is doing good, the economy of Greenville is doing good, the economy of East Carolina and this region is doing well. So sometimes you can't afford not to make a change. No one should be too comfortable in their salary, whether it's Cliff's $8 million salary he has with Pirate Radio, 5-year salary, or whatever the football coach is being paid, or what I get paid. You never should be so comfortable that you feel like that you can make decisions that do not have a sense of purpose and a sense that you're going to be held accountable within a year. So, gentlemen, we're 1-6, and if we're 1-11, we know what that means. That's something that's not acceptable for East Carolina. It's not acceptable for where we want to be as a university. We're better than that. There has to be accountability. And that's all the preaching I got in me, guys. I've been holding this up. I've held off all year, haven't called in. But I think now there needs to be a new coach and maybe somebody else in the athletic department that we need to make some sincere changes. Don't tell me you can't get the money. I know a lot of people are on the sidelines right now. I know 5 guys that wanted to put $30 million into building a practice facility here, but we're told, hey, just put your money into our group. We'll figure that out. We don't need you guys to figure that out. There's a lot of folks that would like to get together and align to get ECU's program moving forward, but it takes good leadership, sound leadership that we can trust in the athletic department and in football to get that done. So I'll go off with that and let you guys roll. Thank you.
All right, Alan Thomas. Good, a lot of stuff there. Good call, AT.
Alan, that was the best call I think I've heard all year. So I appreciate that because for a lot of reasons. My biggest frustration, and I think we've talked about this off air, is I don't want to see East Carolina get left behind, okay? And the reason why I say that is because we played here in an era where we got left behind once before. And we were here right before, Virginia Tech got into the Big East. And, there were other things that was holding us back at the time that kept us out of the Big East. And look at the differences made in those programs. Because when you get into those type of situations, it helps you financially because the TV contracts in these days and whatnot. But we missed that opportunity, man, and we've been trying to fight and struggle and do the things we have to do to catch up to teams like that who we used to beat. And, you look at Louisville, you look at Cincinnati. I mean, I'm looking at a lot of schools here that we used to beat here. I mean, we used to go to Cincinnati, and this is the eyes that I look through. We were like, well, how bad are we going to beat them? And then all of a sudden, these guys have come and taken over the AAC, and now they're gone to the Big 12, and we're still sitting here. That's my frustration when I sit here and I see us lose, is because I don't want to see us fall behind anymore.